Down my volume.
Good afternoon. This is Tesha McDonald here, Alternatives Beauty Studio.
And this is Taneka Gillar. I am naturally yours in Birmingham, Alabama.
Tanika, how was your day today? How was your day?
My day was awesome. It's been pretty hectic, but not as hectic as yours. So, um, I can't complain. Had a good day so far. Good day so
Good
far. I'm
day
trying
so
to
far?
get in the camera for you guys. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
How was your day?
Busy, Nikki, busy. I must say, I am exhausted.
I'm sorry.
Exhausted. Eyes on fire. But it's been a good morning. I got up this morning and went to the salon because today was Let's Get the Kinks Out. So I have to say thank you to Amy for coming and bringing Lainey, and Amelia and her mom Maria was Christina Maria. Um, so I wanted to say thank you for those two coming out today. It's a rainy day, and Amy comes from New Jersey. Um, yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you, give them a big shout out. That was part one, the filming today, and we do part two tomorrow, and that's going to be fun. Is that my rainy bug?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
get her. I'll get her in a minute. But
okay.
it was a good class. I have to say, I did get some nuggets out of that class. So whoever purchases it is gonna be great. I did enjoy it.
Okay. Let me, while she does that, I'll just take her off real quickly. So I want to say thank you for joining us today. Today we are talking about wigs versus weaves. You guys seem to like us in our opposite mode, so we're gonna keep it going for you. So today we're talking about wigs versus weaves. We have our own opinion about it. Neither of us wear either because we both have locks, but we have clients that wear either or both as well. So let's get into it.
All right. Well, I think that we're gonna touch on both have some commonalities and
Yes.
then you have some differences. So I'm gonna go on the side of the wig.
Okay.
Okay. You laughing too. My daughter's laughing too. Okay, so she's with
Hi, Rainy
team.
Bug. She's in
She's
such a
team
good mood.
wig with mommy. So anyway, so some some of the things, and now this is the commonalities. Well, let me start first. I like the wig because they're cheap. You can change them out, and when I say cheap, I'm not just talking about quality, but I mean
I
they're
thought you
not
meant
as expensive.
monetarily.
Right, monetarily, if you don't want to commit to like $300 for a sew-in or something like that, you could get a wig for 50, 60 bucks. Some are even less than that, depending on the cut, I guess, and the fabric of the hair. But I like the wig for that reason because they're not as expensive as a weave. And what I do a lot of down here, I sew on wigs. Um, which is easy for them because it doesn't cost as much as getting a full weave. It doesn't take as long to do, and you still can flat iron it or curl it if you need to on a wig. Your take?
Okay. Yeah, I just did a sew-on wig last week, actually. Um, Same thing, like you said, can be less expensive. Um, and you can change them out very often. You could change them out often if you wanted to. So yes, I agree with the wig in that aspect. However,
Okay.
I
Okay.
like the weave. And you know what? Either one is going to be tried and true, because now the big deal is the front lace wigs. Um, so that's been a big deal, and they're looking more like your natural hair. So
I
I
was
do
gonna.
like
I was.
it.
I was gonna make that point on the wigs nowadays. Tisha, I'm gonna put her in her room. I think I'm
Okay.
gonna put her in her room. But the wigs are now looking more natural and not as wiggy as they used to look. So you can take me off camera.
Yes. So I do agree that the wigs do not look as wiggy, because as technology goes on and we start to learn new things and new techniques, starting to become better and better. So for that, yes, I do agree that I do like a wig. Um, but yeah, I like my weaves. I like my weaves because even though it's a little more time consuming, but it just stays to the head. And I know they're making wigs now where they don't fly off or you can't see, you know what I'm saying? Like, but a weave, you sew on, you know it's gonna be there. It's not going anywhere because it's it's sewn down. Um, I know the wigs have their thing, you know, to keep it on your head as well. But again,
Okay.
remember, I don't wear either. So
Like I said, I sew the wig on. So,
right.
and it looks still natural
That's
as
true.
if it was maybe a weave. And like I said, again, they're not as wiggy. Now,
True.
what they both have in common is that they both are good to cover clients with alopecia or thinning. But I think that a wig will be easier to put on than a weave because you still got to be careful
Of
when
course,
even putting a weave on to a client with
of course,
alopecia.
of course. And the tugging and pulling of having to braid the hair under and then sewing the weave down, especially if you have a client that has some kind of a hair issue. Um,
Hmm.
yes, so I totally agree. Like the wig that I sewed down last week, she really had no edges here. You know, I had to kind of make something up so we can sew it down.
Right.
No.
And
I
I
suppose you
like
could
that.
use the nets and stuff like that to
Mhm.
cover. Hmm.
I like that braiders now are being more creative when it comes to camouflage and or coming up with techniques and ways of doing it. I think that like I said, braiders and weavers really do have to become creative in certain aspects, to make it work. So yeah, so I like a wig for that. And even with the wig, if that client has thinning, they could easily take that wig off at the end of the day. Whereas a weave is kind of, to me, it's semi-permanent. You can't just take it on and off, like you would a weave.
Also,
Like,
with a wig, like you said, off and on, if you go to the gym and you sweat your hair out, you can take off that. So we are pretty much in agreement today. It's not a disagreement today.
okay,
Um,
okay.
so wig, you can take off. You can unbraid your hair if you need to, wash it, braid it back down, twist it up, whatever you do under your wig, and then put it back on. Wearing a
Mhm.
weave, if you have a weave and you're sweating it out in the gym, you can't get to the scalp. It's not as clean. And I must say, I haven't always had locks. I had a weave twice. My husband did not like the weave because he felt like he couldn't get his fingers through my hair. And the first weave I got, she was testing it on me. So it was just like a big bush. It was like, it was ridiculous. But then the
I
second one, it was more professional. And my husband did not like it because he couldn't put his fingers through it. But also, if you start to sweat and your hair starts to smell, like Ma used to always say, oh, my hair smells sour. So under a weave, your hair can smell sour. And it
right.
also depends on how you're wearing your weave as well, because now we're talking about hair damage, but you wanted to say something before I go to that point.
I had a weave twice. One was a sew on and one was a glue on over my locks. So the sew
I remember that.
on,
I remember
yeah,
that
the
you want
sew
to clean
on
it up.
was good. It was okay. It wasn't something. It's not something I would do often. I didn't really care for it for myself. But the glue on, I was in a wedding, and it was mandatory that all her bridesmaids or anybody in the bridal party had to have straight hair. She had a look for all the girls, and because I'm natural and I had locks, I had to get a weave. So she did the glue on. She put the two caps on. She was like, "Your hair is going to be protected." I was pulling out clumps of glue for a year after coming out of my locks. I would still have glue coming out.
I
So
remember that.
I won't do that again. But anyway, so that was my experience with both the sewing and with the glue down. But anyway, what were you going to say?
What was your negative for the sew down?
What was my next point?
What was your negative?
The sewing was okay. It just wasn't me.
Okay,
It just wasn't me.
okay. So I was saying the next point was like some people don't get a full head weave. Some people get the leave out. And so back in the day, I remember when I first was doing weaves, it would be a track, leave your hair out, a track, leave your hair out like that, to cover your track. But now, then it started changing, and it was like weave it all up and just leave a piece out in the front. Wherein, so some people would get a relaxer, then the weave, so that it could be laid straight, or the relaxer just here. So when you lay it over, it lays straight. But now more people are moving away from the relaxer, but they're flat ironing it straight, and then it's damaging the hair. And especially ones that I only like my part on this side, or I only like my part in the middle, then they are damaging because they keep flat ironing the same way, the same way. They never, this side is nice and healthy, this side is damaged because I only like to wear it on this side. And then you're
Right.
doing more damage to that one side.
Right.
So like with everything, it needs a balance. So, I did my let's get the kinks out. And my girl, she likes to wear her middle part. But then when I said, oh, I kind of like it going over to this side, she was like, I like that, because she never like really opened her mind to change it a different way. And then she was like, oh, I like that. I think I'm gonna wear it like this. And she walked out the salon wearing it over to the side as opposed to a middle part. Gotta switch it up.
Yes, yes, yes. I think, but this is for both weaves and wigs. Look professional. You see a
Yes.
lot of TV journalists wearing weaves and wigs. Performers, actors, actresses, they wear both weaves and wigs. Now, when I was interviewed by the local news station, my girl that interviewed me, she wore a wig because she was natural underneath. So she would wear her natural hair outside of work. But for work here in Alabama, she had to wear the wig. So they're coming around, but yeah, you're seeing a lot more journalists, in things with the wigs and the weaves, and even your men wear wigs and weaves. So let's not leave the men out.
Yep, yep. And it's becoming more and more known that men are, well, it's always been because they had their little toupees, but it was so obvious. Now they're making the lace fronts for the men, so it's not as obvious. And
Mhm.
that's great, for men that's have confidence issues because they're thinning or balding.
So
So that
young.
works for them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a lot of young guys that are thinning. It's like really,
But
I
that
don't know.
goes back to diet sometimes. Like, what are you lacking in your diet, your nutrients and stuff like that? Because we see that a lot at the shop. People with scalp issues and stuff like that, just because of their diet. It's like, where's your fruits and your vegetables? So that's another story for another day. Yeah, I'm sorry, T. I'm sorry. Another point, both are good protectors against, the elements, so they're good protectors for that, for both wigs and weaves. Anything on that one?
Well, my thing is always with this whole protective style thing, and this is where we might clamor.
Okay.
I get we're protecting it. But we're protecting it from what? Like I always felt like we're protecting our hair from what? Our hair is the protectant of our head, of our scalp. So why are we protecting the hair per se? You know what I mean? Everybody's, oh, let's protect the hair. But if it's under something, I get the protective, but no, let it air, let it breathe, let it do what it has to do, because that's why I said the hair is a protector of our head. So what is this whole thing with protective styles and protective? I don't get that. I think
Yeah.
somebody came up with it and then everybody ran with that.
Right. I get it. I get it because our forefathers and mothers had to survive the elements, winter, spring, summer, fall, but sometimes those elements are harsh. Like in the South, we are hot so many months out the year. So that is, so I could understand protecting it against the elements. I understand your side.
Right. I get that as well, but that's when you use like a hair covering, a head covering. But I guess a wig is a hair covering, but that's not what I meant. I meant like a material, like a scarf
I
or,
understand.
you
And I
know.
understand too that like a wig could be, or a weave. It's not really protecting if they have that leave out and they flat ironing it, is really not
Mhm.
protecting it. But at the same time, it's not really protecting it from the elements in the summer. That's adding to it because it's too hot in the summer to have a wig or a weave in the summer, maybe.
Let me keep arguing with you right there on this point. So we have locks. What do we put on over our head as a protective style? I'm not talking about when you do twist over locks or nothing like that. I'm talking about what do we use as a protective style with our locks? Our locks are out all day, every day. There is no protecting locks. You know what I mean?
It might be a little more durable because the strands are together. Whereas if you had like a relaxer, your hair
No,
is a little bit more.
not
No,
feeling that.
okay.
No, not working for me. No, And you know,
And
like I said, I don't have color in my hair, and I say this all the time. It is sun damage. So yes, the sun will damage the hair, but I'm just saying, all right, if my hair is natural and I'm naturally locked, what am I protecting my hair from? You know, so
okay, all right. Um, neither can. Okay.
yes, you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
can
can.
wear a weave over locks. Many people are wearing weaves over their locks, especially if they're at a shorter length. You can do weaves over locks. You can do braids over locks. You could
But this
crochet.
is, Renee, I'm a post a picture. I think I did it last week. I thought I did, but I'm gonna post a picture after the show of my client that I just did last Saturday. She got kinky twists over her locks. She just wanted to change. She walked in, said, I'm ready to cut them off," and I said, "You ain't ready to cut them off. You say that every time. Let's do this." And I'm gonna post that after the show.
Yeah, I have plenty of pictures of myself with braids over locks.
Me too.
I did a wig. I did made my own wig one year for New Year's, and I put that over my locks. I do crochets over locks, and I do a kinky twist over locks, like you said. So there's a lot of versatility for people that have locks that are tired and want just a new look.
She
Um,
wanted to do look, and then once I gave her the kinky twist over her locks, it made her hair fuller looking because she's starting to thin now. She's older. She's not old. She's just older. But
mhm.
her locks are starting to thin, and she's just tired of it. And so once we did the kinky twist over them, they look fuller. And she was, she liked that. And even me, sometimes now I'm like, do I want to make my hair longer, even though it's long? Do I want to make my hair longer, or do I want to cut them? Because sometimes you say, "Oh, I'm tired of this," or "I'm ready for something new." But yeah, the only thing, Renee, um, since my hair is so long now, and yours is longer than mine, I believe, Renee, we can't really do a wig because it'll be very bulky under there. But when it's short, you can do a wig or a weave. But because our hair is so long now, we can't do either. Just the twist over or
Another
the braids over.
Okay. Another benefit for both the wig and the weave is that they're convenient. It's just a get up and go. Pick up the wig, put it on, or get up and brush out your weave and keep it
I
moving.
was gonna say, because with a weave, you could do the same thing. Renee
I
had
have
another
for
question.
both. Yeah, you could get them. You could do them
Okay.
both.
I'm gonna post that, and I might even go into my archives for you, Renee, and show you my braids over my locks 2 years ago when I still had my braces on. So I'll post both of those pictures, maybe side by side or something. I don't know, but it's coming.
Then I just wanted to talk about this real quick, and then I'll be through with my points. Well, maybe. With wigs, you can get synthetic or human hair. So with your wigs, if it's synthetic, they should be good for 4 to 6 months. With your human hair wigs, they could last from 1 to 5 years, depending on the upkeep, how often you wear them, and how you maintain them. What you got to say, Tesha?
Say that part again. The last part again.
1 to 5 years on the human hair wig.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how often you use it, how you maintain it, how you brush it out, how you store it, you know,
Yeah.
washing it. Yeah, like I said, maintaining, because some women, oh, goodness, Nika, to be honest with you, you can hold on to these wigs, even some of the worst of the synthetic ones. Nika, did you hear what I said?
Yeah, the
Thank you.
worst of the synthetic.
Because I have a client who loves her synthetic wigs. She comes, I brush them out because she does not know how to take care of them.
I have a client like that too.
Yes, and once it becomes like really ratty at the end, we'll cut it, we'll give it a cut, and she's keep on going with that same wig, and we just keep refreshing it. So
I have a client like that
how
as
far do you
well.
want to go? Like it's like, okay, this is like not the most quality of wigs, but I guess you do what you gotta do or what you can afford. So she's like, I'm gonna ride this out, And so we just
I have a
ride it
client
out.
like that. Her hair is very tightly coiled, and so she likes the yucky synthetic wigs. She does not like the human hair wigs because it's not relatable to her hair type. And so yeah. And so she'll get that. She'll bring it to the shop. I'll do the same thing, trim the ends off. Then she'll bring it back. I'll curl it. Then she'll bring it back. I'll bump it. She'll bring it back, and she will stay with her yucky wig that she gets sewn on. And she likes it like that. And I'm like, I'm all for it, So
I agree that if you're gonna wear a wig or a weave, it should look something that is relatable to you. It shouldn't be this shiny, 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 and you know that your hair is not shiny like that. A yaki is a good compromise on because our hair is not shiny, shiny like that. And sometimes we get so unrealistic with it, or down the butt, length of it, and it's just like, come on, people. Can we do a little bit? And that's more for the younger people. They do that. Once you're getting older, I see a lot of older ones. I'm just like, really? Older trying to be young. I get it.
Hey, I'm all
Do I
for it,
sound
T.
old?
I have, yes, you do. I have no hate. I don't know. I was talking to someone about my client that's here today that's getting color. She's getting burgundy in her hair. And her boo is like, you getting color, whatever. She was like, why not? She's 50. I'm like, why not? You 50.
Why not?
You're grown. It's not like you're just grown. You're
Right,
grown. So if you
right.
choose to color like my color is a little bit bright for me, but it's dying down now, thankfully, because it's too bright for me. But
Okay.
she's grown. So I am not mad. And we were talking, and I know this is totally off topic, but we were talking about how us older ones look better than some of the younger ones nowadays. And we're talking about how they're thinning already so young because of diet, lack of nutrients and stuff in the diet and everything like that. But I'm all for it because you see some 80-year-olds that's still hip and
Nice and
cool.
healthy. You only
Yes,
got one
yes.
life to live, right?
Yeah, so I'm not mad at them. My last point on wigs versus weaves is that, like you just mentioned, the longness. I'm talking about the color. Now, we know we've seen green, purple, pink, orange. We've seen all color wigs. So I think that it's a fun change. Yesterday was Halloween. So it's a fun change.
Excuse me. You can get a colorful weave. They're
Yes,
doing
you
the
can.
watercolors on the weaves.
Yes,
That's like
yes,
you dye it blonde and you dye it whatever color,
yes,
multicolor, zebra print,
yes,
leopard,
yes,
all of that.
yes. That's true. That's true. That's true. So I'm just saying, but if you don't want something that's going to be, you don't want to be blue turquoise all week long, you could get a wig, wear it for the weekend for your fun night out with the girls or whatever and toss it or whatever like that and not be committed to the weave that you have to now cut out the tracks and stuff like that. Especially if it was, well, I guess you could re-dye it, I guess, since it's human hair usually when you get a weave. But so that's it. We're talking today, you guys, about wigs versus weaves, the pluses and the minuses. And the wig is good because you could pull it off and get to your scalp. I
I
like
think
that
we
on.
agree on this one that wigs, is more versatile. However, I don't believe weaves are going anywhere. Weaves will
No.
be here to the end of time, I believe, because it's
Mhm.
a tried and true method of attaching the hair. And even now with the whole, because there's so many ways you could do a weave, because you have the bead, the micro beading. That's a weave technique. You have so many ways to do a weave, and that's what it's going to be. I believe that that's going to be here to the end of time.
Well, with the wigs, they're not going nowhere either because
No,
now you're doing your wigs with the box braids, the kinky twist, the Senegalese twist. So the wigs are not going nowhere either. And so I think that
like I
it's just
said, like we
here.
said, they're making them more realistic. They're
Yes,
making them more realistic. So
yes. Always in the
Yep,
market.
on it.
That's why the industry is over $1 billion industry, you know, the hair industry. So
Mhm.
yeah, well, this is Nikki of Naturally Yours. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama. My website is iamnaturallyyours.com.
Whoop, whoop. And this is Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio. You can check us out on twinness.com. We have like about 8 books there. You could choose your book. They're not expensive. Go choose a few. Okay, thank you for joining us today. We will see you on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Renee, I am going to get these pictures out to you, and I will see you Wednesday.
Hold up, y'all. Real quick. You
Oh,
there,
wait.
T? Okay, I wasn't sure. This is the month of Thanksgiving, and so
Oh,
we are working on something for our viewers, you know? But we will let y'all know something about that probably next week. So thank you all for catching the replay, for sharing, for posting, for tagging, and for liking. Thank you, guys.
thank you.